Good afternoon, everybody. Today my name is Mirnosh Chapkhanawala, and I'm going to give you a presentation, small talk on optimal health. In this talk, I'll be discussing how we can stay healthy throughout life, or if we have some challenges or some problems or some health issues, how we can best cope up with them. So let us take a holistic approach of health. Actually, I started this study into health about 8 years ago. My mother died of diabetes around, say, a decade ago, and we were all very shocked. Why did this happen? We always thought that such illnesses come to other people. We never thought that it would come to us like that. But for others, we are also other people, and I realized that no, we have to be very careful. And we did a lot of study into health. And we met doctors, we met religious teachers, we met psychologists, we met health consultants, and we accumulated a lot of knowledge. And we found that we got most of the knowledge from religious heads, more than what we got from medical practitioners. And all this we put up into this presentation, which I am going to give you today. This is a PowerPoint presentation in which we shall discuss a few diseases. Actually, there are 5 main diseases which are troubling the world today, according to the World Health Organization. The first one is diabetes. Diabetes is a very global, widespread disease, and most widespread in India and China. 60% of all the diabetic patients in the world are mostly Indians. Diabetes is a very silent killer. It does not create anything by itself, but it creates a lot of complications like kidney failure, heart problem, and other complications. The second is heart disease. Again, in heart disease also, we are leading in the world. Actually, 60% of all cardiac patients in the world are Indians. That means out of 10, 6 are Indians, 1 practically in every family. Each country in the world has a genetically disease. Like, for example, USA has colon cancer. Because what happened previously, they didn't used to eat much of vegetables, fibers, and they relied mainly on meat. So they got very little fiber in their diet, and the main disease which was prevalent in US was colon cancer. Now, of course, things have changed. They are into vegetarianism. They eat a lot of vegetables, and things are changing. India has the most expensive disease genetically, which is heart disease. The blood vessels of Indians are diametrically a little smaller than the blood vessels of the Western people, which are slightly broader. So as such, because of this small, narrow diameter, they tend to get heart disease more easily than the Western counterparts. The third is arthritis. Previously, 50 years ago, people didn't suffer so much from arthritis as they are suffering now. Means arthritis also has become a lifestyle disease. The fourth is obesity. Obesity is not only a cosmetic disease, it is not something which just looks bad, but it gives rise to diabetes, it gives rise to arthritis, it gives rise to heart problems. Means obesity actually gives rise to all various diseases. And one more disease is respiratory disorder, that is pulmonary diseases. Now these respiratory disorders are asthma and bronchitis, which are now even found in small children, which previously were not so. India Today is a magazine of repute which has taken out a special issue on health, and it has taken out a special issue on obesity, because obesity leads to so many complications that they took out a special issue in which they showed that previously people died out of want of food. Today people are dying out of overeating actually. If you will look at the figures, in case of women, out of 5, 3 women are obese. And in case of men, especially in urban areas, out of 5, at least 2 are obese. Now let us look at what is good health. We shall define good health. People generally think that because I am not ill, I am healthy. But that is not the case. Good health is not absence of illness. Good health is a positive thing by itself only. Now, good health is a thing to be earned. It is to be acquired. And the first pillar of the building of good health is exercise. Exercise is very important for good health. Now, when we talk of exercise, we hardly get time to exercise because of our busy schedule. So, whenever we exercise, we must see that from the exercise we get three benefits. The first benefit is suppleness. Suppleness means logicta, flexibility. Second is strength, and third is stamina. When we get all these three benefits, it means the exercise is good. When we talk of exercise, what happens? Generally, what comes to our mind is walking. Now, walking is a good exercise, but walking may not necessarily be the best exercise. Walking, what happens in case of suppleness, if we see walking has only one dot, means it gives a little bit of suppleness, it gives a little bit of strength, and it gives a little bit of stamina. Now, people generally walk in the mornings. Now, to get the maximum benefit out of walking, how should we walk? The first thing is, don't just keep on walking. Say people walk from Marine Drive to Chowpatty every day. They walk the same way for years and they don't get much benefit. Why is that so? I'll give you a small example. Suppose there's a small child and there's a father. The father every day scolds the child for half an hour. After 2-3 months, the child gets used to the scolding and the scolding has no effect on the child. So similarly, walking. If we walk every day the same way as we are walking, our body gets used to it and it does not react and it gives you no additional benefit. So how do we walk? So whenever we have to walk, what should we do? Say you're walking on Marine Drive. Walk for 5 buildings. Sprint or jog for 5 buildings. Again walk for 5 buildings. Again sprint and jog for 5-10 buildings. If you come to a flyover, go over it. Don't go under it. So change the rhythm of your walking every few minutes. So then what happens? The body gets maximum benefit. That is the best way to walk. Actually, if I just go with my friend conversing all the way from Marine Drive onwards, what I have done basically is only talking. I have not done actual walking. So this is the correct way to walk. And if you are walking for weight loss, there is a very specific way to walk. Like you walk for 10 seconds and just stop. Again walk for 10 seconds and stop. Again walk for 10 seconds and stop. Because what happens when you stop and again you start, your body uses up a lot of energy, it uses up a lot of calories. Say for example a car is stopped. To start to push it, you need a lot of energy. But once it is moving, you can easily push it. So this is the way we should walk. Once you have stopped, to again start, your body has to use up a lot of calories. So if you walk in this stop, start way, it may not look very good, but it will definitely give you good results. You lose 5 times more calories you burn up than what you would otherwise do. So this is the best way to get results from walking. Now, for example, after walking, don't binge on food. Supposing I walk, say, for 15-20 minutes and I burn 400 calories. I go home, I have a cup of tea and a nice pastry. A big pastry contains 600 calories. So I have burnt out 400 and I have consumed 600. So all my walking is nullified, plus I have a burden on my system. So walking is to be balanced with proper intake of food. That is very important. The next pillar of good health is attitude. This is the most neglected pillar of good health. People think being healthy means exercise and eat proper. No. Attitude is very important. If you will not have the proper attitude, you will not have a healthy body. Now, what is a proper attitude? People feel generally a pushing person, a person who goes out, gets his work done, very energetic, dynamic, forceful, and pushes his way into work and gets things done. That is not a positive attitude. That's a pushing attitude. A positive attitude is a balance of mind. The mind needs 5 balances. That is, the first balance is financial stability. The mind needs 5 stabilities for it to think positive. Financial stability is the first. You must do those actions in life which will make you financially stable, by which you don't have to worry too much about money. Because a person who has to think too much about money cannot think about anything else. So the first duty of every person is to make himself financially secure, so